Hello, come along in this video with me to transition into autumnal festivities, like going to a farm stand, making chili, and a bit of decorating. If you're late to the game like I am, don't worry, you're not alone. But before we get into that, I would like to take a moment to thank every new subscriber who took a chance on my channel. You guys have made a huge jump in growing my channel and a milestone I didn't know was possible. I treasure every subscriber, new and seasoned. I don't take it for granted the time you spend watching, commenting, or liking any of my videos. If you are new, my name is Jessica. I run this humble channel called Tidy and Traditional. My hope is to make content that encourages homemakers and household managers alike to love their homes and the work that is done within those four walls. Now back to our regular program. We come to this quaint farm stand that looks like something out of the show Smallville. And yes, I am showing my age with that name drop. Picking pumpkins at this stand is a family tradition of ours for 6 years running, and it is owned by a local farm. I really enjoy how small it is, and it works out that it is never crowded when we visit, which is a relief for my husband and I, since we are a special needs family. Any place that gives us a smaller crowd is a win for us. Our autistic son can get very excited in crowds and has a tendency to run. He doesn't do this to misbehave, but it doesn't take away from how scary it is for us, especially now that he's getting older and much faster. So, we like small crowds with contained areas. Watching time pass and my children get older makes me try harder to give them strong foundational memories. Memories that I hope are good ones they can reminisce about through their life. Since this is our family tradition, I love that my sons are excited to remind my husband and I that it is time to go to the farm stand and get pumpkins every October. We usually leave ours on the front stoop with mums. Right around the time the pumpkins are spent, we will break them apart and put them in the woods to properly break down or be food for the deer, rabbits, birds, or any other wildlife in our backyard that can feast on the food. Do you have an autumn family tradition? Please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. Inside the barn is their locally grown produce, honey, and baked goods. We didn't just leave with pumpkins though. It was very easy for our children to convince us to buy a batch of fresh donuts. In the morning, I was left with a mess from dinner the night before, breakfast being made, and lunches that were assembled to take to school. So I was a bit behind on the usual morning routine, but I know this is the dance of the homemaker. Jobs are done within the home to keep the family functioning throughout their day, with many pauses, and sometimes those are for hugs, giggles, and even tears. I am making a simple chili recipe that I found from Pioneer Woman and did a few minor adjustments. Do you follow recipes exactly? I have a friend who she wouldn't dream of messing with any recipe. The measurements, the amount of time to cook, while I, on the other hand, will follow it once, maybe twice, and then loosely follow it thereafter. And by saying this, I am in no means calling myself a chef. But this method just works for me. I enjoy cooking, so I don't mind adjusting a recipe until I get it the way that I like it. And any Crockpot meal with a side of homemade biscuits, or any starchy side for that matter, is the epitome of autumn for me. It's the time to slip on a thick pair of fuzzy socks and curl up with a bowl of sustenance that has been simmering in a crock pot all day, rich in flavor and ready to be enjoyed. Like many homemakers, I like to seasonally change my home. So about 4 times a year, I will change my decor to embrace a new season. I used to have a lot of tchotchkes that I would lug out almost monthly with every holiday. And while there's nothing wrong with that, I find myself growing tired of frequenting my storage. I've grown fond of changing for a season and use small touches for a specific holiday, excluding Christmas. For example, I have winter decor, but I will bring in pink candles and a heart banner that I made to decorate my mantle for Valentine's Day, which is a family holiday in my home. It is a tradition my mother started when I was young, and I cherished it so much I have continued to do it with my own children. Everyone gets to join in on Valentine's and gets a candlelit dinner. Each person gets a card and a small candy or prize, so as not to exclude anyone on that day. Again, this goes back to creating those memories that I want my children to be able to hold on to when they think of what home was like for them. So changing a piece of art, pillowcase, or even using different florals around your home can change the whole atmosphere. I find it very helpful to quiet a space, a technique I learned from the Nester, Michael and Smith. I found quieting a space, in other words, clearing everything out, helps cleanse a visual palette for your home. Once I clear everything out, then I slowly add things back in. Even if some of my decor ends up in the same spot it was previously, which it sometimes does, the layout feels intentional to me still. I like to use different shades of colors to help enhance the season I'm decorating for. Right now, I am using warmer, muddier shades. That applies to the books I own in my shelving, along with artwork and my florals. Now, I can't change the color of a real plant, so I do lean into that in other areas of my home, which you will see when I show you the music corner in our living room. Even a basket of kindling wood can be decor, and in our home, it not only serves us, but it is beautiful to look at. I even like that some of the basket weaving is broken. It showcases that it is a utilitarian tool. Every season, I like to challenge myself to decorate with what I already own before I go out and buy something new. Because a lot of times I realize that I can easily change a space with what is already in my storage than running out to a store and buying the fresh, new, shiny thing. As a gag gift to my husband, I commissioned artwork from an Etsy artist to put our family in a portrait, like a traditional oil painting. Once I received the digital format, I had it printed at Walmart for under $1 and painted it with Mod Podge to fake the oil painting look. I've moved it around the house and our guests get a kick out of it when they come over. So I wanted to get a larger print to make it more obnoxious because why not? It is something that always gets a good laugh when people realize what the art is. I have seen a few designers who like to put 1 or 2 quirky details in their home just to keep people on their toes, so I took inspiration from that. I tried putting this cement Greek-style planter up on my shelf, which is something that I do like to use a lot, but for this season, I just wasn't feeling it with my decor, and I used a lot of energy to get it up there, just to change my mind shortly after. While the shelves are empty, I use this opportunity to wipe it down and dust anything that has been sitting there for a while. Even though my channel is called Tidy, you can trust that my home is not always clean and sanitized. There's a difference between having an orderly home and a completely sanitized, clean, greasy-free home. I thrifted this pumpkin candle last year for Thanksgiving and lit it only once. So after dusting it off, it will be displayed on my coffee table this year. This book is a great way to hide remotes. I'm always looking for ways to tuck away wires, remotes, and things of the sort. Especially remotes. It helps knowing the remote goes back to the same spot so the next person can find it when they want to watch TV. You can trust that. My coffee table did not last very long with little hands moving things about, especially when my older two got home from school. This book that I'm about to show you is called The Kindly Fruits. This 1977 Italian book was a wonderful thrift find. I have the English print. It is a staple of mine to use as decor because the art is of different plants, herbs, and flowers. It is also an educational source for natural remedies. Each page is so stunning to me. So no matter the season, I can always find something that harmonizes with my decor. If you watched my Get It Under Control video, you will know that I am not sentimental with most items. Emphasis on the most part. I am not heartless. This pair of nutcrackers is a sentimental item that was a gift from my husband while we were engaged. He knew Frankenstein is a story dear to my heart growing up and purchased them for me. They are over 13 years old, so now they wobble a bit and the flower always needs to be placed back in the bride's hand. But in the fall, I look forward to displaying these items. They make me think of a time when we were planning our wedding and our life together. It was a time when we made plans blissfully unaware of the twists and turns of life would bring. I continued to move art around and soon found out why that piece is never on this wall. This is where most of the fun in decorating is had for me. I like making adjustments until I get things just right. And sure, my children come in and move things around, but that doesn't bother me. I enjoy their little hands moving things about my home, unless it's been thrown in a toilet, and then it's not so fun anymore. So let me know in the comment section. Do you decorate according to seasonal changes, or are you a decorator for holidays? I would love to know. This is the final result. Small changes, staying in one color palette, and using florals that coincide with the season that we're in is all that it takes to make a big difference in your home. Oh, and don't forget about the dusting. Thank you for watching.